Hey, what is going on guys? RvzStealth here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a few new sleeper OP or underrated picks for patch 7.4. So with that being said, let's get started. So first up here is going to be down in the 80 carry role, and it's going to be KogMaw. So KogMaw right now, he's got a very unique playstyle that a lot of players are using to some pretty good success in this patch. So what a lot of KogMaw players are doing is they're actually taking Storm Raider Surge instead of Fervor, and Storm Raiders actually does have a better win percent than Fervor does in this patch. Now this will just allow KogMaw to kite really well in team fights because KogMaw, he doesn't have any problem with dishing out a load of damage in fights. His main problem is that he's very easy to catch out. He doesn't have a gap closer. So by taking that Storm Raiders on KogMaw, it allows you to kite more effectively in team fights, and it will just allow you to stay a lot more safe. Another reason to why he's pretty good right now is because a lot of the meta supports are very peel oriented supports, and they're really good at keeping KogMaw alive. So for example, Lulu, she used to have a very low play rate a few patches ago. It was only around like maybe a 1 or 2% pick rate. Lulu is actually picked 10% of the time now, and Janna and like Soraka and Sona are all picked a lot in this patch. So that's another reason to why KogMaw is doing pretty well right now. And then a lot of other people have just gone back to going for the KogMaw build before he got reverted. So when KogMaw, when he got like reverted back, a lot of people were going for like Trinity Force, Blade of the Ruined King on him, Infinity Edge. But people have now gone back to building like Wit's End, Rageblade, Runins, and then like Sterix and Frozen Mallet, and that build is doing super good on him in this patch. It just allows you to spike pretty early on into the game with your Wit's End and your Runin. So if you guys have yet to try out KogMaw in this patch with this setup, then I would recommend it. Now another 80 carry is doing really well in this patch is Twitch, and he's doing well for a lot of the same reasons that KogMaw is doing well. So we are seeing a lot of peel supports being played, and Twitch is great with those kind of supports. And another reason to why he's seeing more success in this patch is because of the Fervor changes. So Fervor on Twitch is super good because once you do get a bit of attack speed on him, and once you do have your ultimate up, it's going to be very easy for you to get those Fervor stacks in team fights, just because you're going to be able to get like at least 3 or 4 autos off right away when you use your ultimate. And then if you can continue using autos and you don't die right away, then you'll be able to easily stack up that Fervor and just do a load of damage in team fights. So moving over to the mid lane now, a pick that's doing pretty good in this patch against a few select champions is Zilean. So Zilean is doing really well right now against like Zed and all of these assassin lethality champions that are being played. He's a great pick pretty much against anybody that their main job is to like one-shot someone, or their main job is to just jump in, do a lot of damage, and then that's all they're really useful for. So someone like a Rengar, a Kha'Zix, a Zed, Zilean can do a great job against those champions. If they try to jump in and assassinate your back line, then you just use your ultimate on whoever they go for, and then you're going to be able to kill that Kha'Zix or the Rengar, because if they don't end up killing one of your teammates, they're kind of useless. They're very squishy. They don't have any way of getting out really once they get in there. So Zilean is a good pick in the mid lane. I'd say he's better mid than support, but if the enemy team does have a lot of assassins, you can also play him to some pretty good success in the support role. Now let's move over to the top lane now here. A top laner that is doing great in this patch and in this meta right now is actually Malphite. So Malphite, he usually pops in and out of the meta. The reason why he's actually pretty good in this patch is because we're seeing a lot more Fiora being played, a lot more of these Fervor stacking top lane champions, and Malphite, he always does good against those champions because number one, a lot of them are AD based, and therefore Malphite can stack armor, he can get really tanky, and he's still going to deal a lot of damage since he does scale with that armor. And then another reason to why he counters them is because a lot of them, they do rely on those auto attacks, and with Malphite's E, when he does slam the ground, it reduces their attack speed by quite a bit actually. So it just makes him a great pick, especially like as long as you don't feed in the laning phase as Malphite, and if you can reach the mid to late game, then the chances of you winning against one of those like Fervor stacking top laners is going to be very high. And then the final pick for this patch is going to be down in the support role, and it's going to be Taric. So Taric, you really don't see much of him at all, but I think he's actually a great pick right now, especially like in this meta with a lot of the assassins being played, with a lot of the dive champions. Taric's ultimate is one of the strongest ultimates in the game if it can be used correctly, like in a late game team fight, and if you can just use it when the enemies try to engage, then it's going to allow you to have that window to where you can just go really aggressive. You don't even have to care about taking damage, and it can single-handedly win you fights. He also does provide pretty good peel for his team with his E. If the enemy does try to jump on his back line, it's just very easy for Taric to line up that E and stun them and allow his AD carry to peel back. So in this patch, if the enemy team does have like a lot of dive engaged champions or a lot of burst, then I would recommend trying out Taric in the support role. So that is going to be all for this video, guys. If you did enjoy, then please be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you have yet to already. Also, let me know down in the comments below of some sleeper OP or some other underrated picks that you guys are playing in this patch. So with that being said, thanks for watching, have an awesome day, and I will see you in my next video.